Welcome to Nightmare Man, where the shadows hold secrets and every creak in the dark tells a story. Tonight, we'll take you deep into a chilling encounter that will make you question what's lurking right outside your window. Are you ready for a nightmare you'll never forget? Let's dive in. The house had stood in the small Texas suburb for decades, a modest two-bedroom home where a family lived quietly. But beneath the mundane surface, strange things stirred. The boy who lived there had always felt it, a sense of unease, of unseen eyes watching from the shadows. He always joked the house was like an Airbnb for the supernatural, where beings came and went without explanation. One evening, 13-year-old Nate invited his best friend Moss over. What started as a night of movies and junk food would soon become something they would never forget. The two friends sat in the dimly lit living room, the flicker of a horror movie playing across their faces. The sound of the doorbell shattered the tension, startling them both. Nate peeked through the window. Nothing. Probably a glitch, he muttered. But the doorbell rang again and again. Frustration boiled over. Nate stepped onto the porch, scanning the empty yard. The street was quiet, the shadows unmoving. When he returned inside, the doorbell fell silent, though the unease lingered. Later that night, as Moss slept soundly, Nate lay awake. His eyes wandered to the window, where a sliver of glass was visible beyond the curtain. That's when he saw it. A figure, hunched and skeletal, clawed at the grass in the backyard. It moved unnaturally, shoving clumps of dirt and dandelions into its unseen mouth. His breath caught in his throat. Against his better judgment, Nate reached for the light switch. Light flooded the yard, revealing the thing in full. Its ashy, wrinkled skin clung tightly to sharp bones, and its face was a nightmare. Two hollow pits where eyes should have been, a mouth, a perfect circle of jagged, stained teeth. The creature turned to face him, its hollow gaze meeting his. Then it screamed, a bone-chilling sound that was part human, part animal. Nate froze, unable to move, as the creature lunged toward the window, slamming its body against the glass. Moss woke to the sound of the creature's screech and ran into the room. "It's real," Nate whispered, his voice shaking. The creature slammed its body against the window, cracking it. Without thinking, Nate grabbed Moss's arm and they bolted. Inside the parents' bedroom, they locked the door and shoved a dresser in front of it. The glass shattered in the living room. The thing was inside now. The sound of footsteps, fast, erratic, echoed through the house. Then silence. Only the faint sound of clicking, like bone against bone, as it approached the door. The clicking stopped, replaced by the sound of the front door opening. "Nate?" his mother's voice called. Relief turned to terror as the creature screeched again, bursting through the hallway. It charged past them, through the front door, and across the yard. The family watched, frozen in fear, as it disappeared into the woods. No one spoke. No one moved. The house fell silent again, as though the nightmare had never happened. But Nate knew the truth. That thing, it wasn't gone. And if it ever came back, he was certain it wouldn't let him escape a second time. Some things are better left unknown. Some things should never be seen. Imagine sneaking out for a midnight adventure, only to find yourself face to face with a faceless terror. Join David and me as we uncover the chilling secrets lurking in our seemingly peaceful town. This is a night we will never forget. Young suburban nights hold secrets that refuse to rest. Our story begins in the small, sleepy town where two friends, David and his daring companion, decided to turn an ordinary summer night into an unforgettable adventure. But some adventures aren't meant to be. The park, usually bustling with laughter during the day, turned into an eerie landscape by night. The dirt path leading to the pavilion was flanked by empty baseball fields, their dugouts ominously dark. The boys joked, but unease crept in with every step. At the far end of the parking lot, a black car sat motionless. Its shadowy outline blended into the night, and its stillness felt unnatural. Ignoring their instincts, the boys moved closer, dribbling their basketball as they kept an uneasy eye on the vehicle. They returned to the pavilion, only to spot a figure swinging in the distance. The rusty chains groaned with each sway, and the boys froze, their minds racing with questions. Who was this stranger, and how did they get here unnoticed? When the figure entered the nearby bathroom, the boys waited in uneasy silence. Minutes passed before the door creaked open, revealing a person with wild hair and a grotesque mask twisted into a sinister grin. They waved at the boys before vanishing into the woods. The next day, the boys returned to the park, determined to find answers. In the trash can by the bathroom, they found the shredded remains of the mask. To this day, the questions remain. Who was that person? Were they watching all along? Some mysteries are better left unsolved. Some memories are best left in the past, but the echoes of that night still linger, a haunting reminder that the shadows hold more than just darkness.